With our presentations, we'll talk about a rare tumor type. One of the tumors that you usually develop in the pancreas, it's called glucagonoma. It requires a lot of awareness on behalf of the medical staff to think about this diagnosis in order to do it in time. I've prepared one slide. We're talking about approximately 7% of the secreting nets from the pancreas. So it's very rare. Normally, when we diagnose this illness, the tumors are large, over 5 centimeters normally, and in 80% of the patients, we see metastasis in the liver area. In terms, clinically wise, we're talking about a very typical rash that appears around the mouth, in the leg area. It's called necrolytic migratory erythema. And you'll hear later from one of my patients, there are vesicles that dry up, and then we get very typical characteristics. It may appear on the legs, around the perineum, around the reproductive organs. Beyond that, we have diabetes for most of the patients that suffer from glucagonoma, because the tumor secretes glucagon, which is a form of sugar. Because this disease is normally diagnosed when the tumor is large, many times patients complain about weight loss, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. We have thrombotic events, blood clots in the legs and the lung area. We have neurological phenomena. And that's why the diagnosis requires high index of suspicion, because it's a rare diagnosis. So we should think about this when we have a new rash, new diabetes, if we have weight loss. It's important that we take this diagnosis into consideration. I would like to invite Hyla, one of our patients, who agreed to tell her story. Thank you. So this is the first time that I see these things in a presentation, and thanks to my skin doctors, I was diagnosed. For years I've suffered from skin diseases, and I see other phenomena and symptoms that I suffered from throughout the years, and now I'm saying, oh, that's also a part of it. I was once diagnosed with a I was diagnosed by an autoimmune disease of dryness and splinters. Maybe this belongs to it as well. Looking back, I think so, that there was a time that I suffered from skin issues. I used to live abroad. I would go to the doctor, my skin doctor, and she did a biopsy of one of the things I had, and she said, I don't know what you have, but you don't have this and that, and this and that. And then I took my medication, and every time it would burst and relax and burst and relax. I came back to Israel, and I went to a skin consultant. My situation was relatively mild, and in February 2014 I came back to my physician. Oy, נפל כל הסאונד.
עכשיו אם אני עכשיו אגיד משהו זה...
אני אשתות, מה? קודם כל, אם אתה אומר משהו זה סגור. עכשיו אנחנו לא יכולים, אז קודם כל... לא, אני מדברת על כל הסאונד של כל המקום. בסדר. קודם כל, יוגיסט. אתה צריך רק לשמוע. פה אתה שומע, סליחה.
לא.
הם לא יכולים שניהם להיות דלוקים, אז כל עוד אני דלוקה, אל תדליק את זה, בסדר? רק כשאנחנו מתחלפים. אוקיי, הנה זה חדר.
אני מדליק את זה?
פה מדליקים, כן. אבל בוא נחכה לה. So in February 2014, I got back to my skin doctor because again, I had a flare-up and he said, what's new? And I, being myself, told him I lost 20 kilos without even trying. So SOS, the red lights blinking. I was happy personally that I lost 20 kilos without even trying, without going on a diet, and I could have explained it because I was on vacation and I lost my appetite, and I was happy about it. But he told me, go do a CT, you may have a tumor in your abdomen. And that was February 2014. I came back to my family doctor. I told him that I was referred to a CT, and he looked at me and told me, well, it's probably nothing. Most of the chances you have nothing, but I'll agree that you go to a CT. But if you have nothing, then don't begin digging about it. So I said, okay. And then I moved an apartment on April, Passover. I still didn't do my CT. The summer came. And I was fired from my job and maybe got a little depressed. And then only in November, I did the CT and they found an 8-centimeter tumor, which is just huge. And then I said, wow, it's like a grapefruit or like a melon, but then I understood that it's smaller, but still it's pretty large. And I didn't feel anything. In March 2015, I did my biopsy, and I have to say that the doctor that did my biopsy called me personally. And in a very convincing manner told me, you have a tumor, such as neuroendocrine tumor. You must know that you're in the best hands. In Hadassah, they know how to treat it. And he told me it in English. He's American as well. And he just gave me all the confidence to know that I'm in the right place. And my family told me, go get a second opinion. And I told them I don't need. I'm confident with the doctors who are treating me. And thank God, everything that was done in the best way possible. In March, I got my biopsy. And because the tumor was so large and located in a place that could not be, surgery could not be performed, I began PRRT. And before that, I was hospitalized for 3 days because of my skin issues. Maybe you want to detail that after. My skin was really in a bad situation. I got amino acids for three days, intravenous amino acids. That was a nightmare. And a week after that, I began my PRRT. I got 5 sessions of PRRT. I must say, the first time that I got PRRT, something happened to me that until today nobody talked about that mind and body thing and the things that happened to us. People talked about positive thinking, but I, without even trying, we have guided imagery. I just saw and felt I call that bear claw. It's a bear palm just digging in me. And every time I did the PRT, and it's not that I just tried to do that. It was just there. After a period of time, completing these sessions, then the surgery was performed and the metastases were reduced. And then it began with somolatin injections. And on October 2016, I underwent Whipple surgery, and I'm alive. And just hearing this shock of hearing you have cancer, you get into shock. How many years will I live? Will I live? My sister is a nurse. She began researching Google and saying that is like this, and you've got the maximum 5 years. And I didn't want to hear anything. I wanted to talk to my friends that had cancer and got well. And I just had to get to know people that went through what I'm going through, and that's why I'm here, because it's very important for me to express this message that we can live with it, and because I'm living and I've changed my life. Of course, we can always do better. What else? One of the things that I think are important, Shai that talked before about undergoing Whipple, I talked to him after that and I asked him, tell me, the pain, your abdomen pain, do they ever pass? All the time I have like pinching there, I feel pinching, and as long as I know the pain, it's okay. But when I have new pain, that's scary. It scares me. So he asks me, "How many years after Whipple are you?" And I told him 2.5 years. And he laughed at me and said, "You're just at the beginning." And I'm now understanding that we really want to leave it behind us. But the processes are slow and they take time. And we should listen to our body. Any questions? I say, well, first of all, the Whipple is the biggest surgery after implants. What is it, Whipple? You take a bit of that, a bit of that, a bit of there. They took a bit of my abdomen, a bit of my small intestine, a bit of my gallbladder, and the pancreas head. They connected everything together, and I say, thank God, I eat whatever I want. It goes in and goes out. And I want to say another thing. The guy that asked about nutrition, I visited maybe many Facebook groups. There are net groups and Whipple groups, and at a certain stage, I just left all these groups because people in the Whipple Facebook say, don't eat broccoli, don't eat lettuce. I eat everything. I don't take a crayon, I don't take enzymes, and I'm fine, I'm okay. It's just the will to live, I don't know. Simona, you want to say something? Are there any more questions? Sorry, where was your tumor? At the pancreas head with metastasis. I had a metastasis in the liver that disappeared with the PRRT. and the lymph glands. And I must say another thing. After the surgery, I had 2 lymph glands left, metastasis left. And then I told myself, well, that's a reminder that I have to preserve myself. And then I told myself, well, I don't need this reminder. I have the surgery and all that mess. And that's one of the things that I feel that I'm healthy. One of the things are like the boundaries between sickness and health. What I didn't write here is that once I used to say, my disease. It's not my disease. I don't want it. So I'm here to talk about the disease that I had. What I wrote in English, listen to my gut. And I say gut in parentheses because I always listen to my gut. I laugh with my surgical doctor that I have hernia and he didn't stitch me right enough, and then it disturbs me, and then he asked me, do you really want us to open up your abdomen again? So I don't really want that, so I'm living with it. The conclusions, one of the things that we didn't talk about is all the feces. I always make sure I know where the toilets are and that I always have enough toilet paper, and I always have food in my bag because I had the situation somebody talked about feeling like a sugar drop. Not doing anything is also doing. That's one of the greatest lessons that I've learned. It's okay not to do anything.